They lit up our screens, made us believe in love, and became icons of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But where are they now? What happened to the stars who defined romance on screen, like the fiery chemistry of Pretty Woman or the tragic love of Titanic? Did these legendary couples find their own happily ever afters, or did fame come at a price? In this video, we'll uncover the shocking twists, untold stories, and surprising comebacks of your favorite romantic movie stars. Ready to find out what happened to them? Let's dive in. Valley Girl. In Valley Girl, 1983, Nicolas Cage and Deborah Foreman set hearts aflame with their unforgettable portrayal of a punk rocker and a preppy girl from different worlds who fall deeply in love. The film's unique blend of 80s pop culture, youthful rebellion, and budding romance captured the zeitgeist, making it a cult classic and a defining movie of the era. With its memorable soundtrack and fashion, Valley Girl became the quintessential teen romance of the decade, and its magnetic leads played a huge part in its lasting legacy. As Randy, Cage's brooding charm clashed beautifully with Foreman's sweet and wholesome portrayal of Julie, their characters navigating the rocky path of teenage love embodied the perfect mix of chemistry, angst, and heart. Rumors swirled about a real-life romance between the two during filming, but both actors denied it, keeping the magic firmly on screen. Their connection was undeniable, and that tension led to one of the most iconic teen movie moments. Their tender, rain-soaked kiss, a scene that still holds a special place in the hearts of fans. Flash forward to today, Nicolas Cage's career has evolved into a diverse collection of roles, from intense dramas to quirky comedies. After Valley Girl, Cage went on to star in films like Moonstruck, 1987, Face Off, 1997, and most recently The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, 2022. He remains a prolific actor, still taking on unique and offbeat roles. As for Deborah Foreman, she stepped away from Hollywood for a quieter life, though she briefly returned to acting in independent films. Her love for the arts continues, though she now resides far from the spotlight. Though their careers diverged, both actors remain fondly remembered for their on-screen romance. Decades later, Valley Girl still resonates, inspiring tributes on social media and nostalgic costume choices every Halloween. Love Story. In Love Story, 1970, Ali MacGraw and Ryan O'Neal became the epitome of tragic romance, capturing the hearts of audiences with their tender yet heart-wrenching portrayal of Jennifer Cavallari and Oliver Barrett IV. The film's famous tagline, "Love means never having to say you're sorry," became ingrained in the cultural lexicon, and the film itself became a global phenomenon. Its blend of youthful idealism, class struggles, and devastating illness made it one of the most beloved romantic dramas of all time, with its iconic, tear-jerking finale still leaving viewers choked up decades later. As the intellectual yet emotionally distant Oliver, O'Neal's reserved charm contrasted perfectly with MacGraw's free-spirited, fiery Jennifer. Their love story, a passionate yet doomed affair marked by illness, felt both raw and universally relatable. Their chemistry was undeniable, so palpable that rumors of an off-screen romance surfaced during filming, although both actors maintained it was simply professional. The film earned MacGraw a Golden Globe, and the heartbreaking final scene, where Jennifer dies of leukemia, became one of cinema's most memorable moments. Fast forward 50 years, Ryan O'Neal's career had its ups and downs, with notable roles in films like What's Up, Doc, 1972, and Paper Moon, 1973. Though his career was marred by personal struggles, O'Neal continues to make occasional film and television appearances. Meanwhile, Ali MacGraw transitioned to a quieter life, appearing in fewer roles but remaining a respected figure in Hollywood. She became a passionate advocate for animal rights and wellness, living a life focused on personal fulfillment. Today, Love Story still inspires endless tributes, from anniversary celebrations to references in modern media. Even after all these years, the unforgettable love of Oliver and Jennifer continues to resonate, reminding us that true love, even when brief, leaves an everlasting impact. Pretty Woman. In Pretty Woman, 1990, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts created one of the most iconic on-screen couples in romantic comedy history. Their sparkling chemistry as Edward Lewis, the affluent businessman, and Vivian Ward, the vivacious prostitute, made the film a box office smash and a timeless classic. With its blend of fairy tale fantasy and real-world grit, Pretty Woman became the gold standard for rom-coms, celebrated for its mix of humor, heart, and unforgettable moments. None more famous than Gere snapping the jewelry box shut, leaving audiences cheering for love's triumph over all odds. As Edward, Gere brought a sophisticated charm to the role of a man slowly falling for a woman he never expected to need. Julia Roberts, in the role of Vivian, showcased her trademark warmth, wit, and unbridled charm, turning a character initially seen as a hooker with a heart of gold into one of cinema's most beloved heroines. Their off-screen camaraderie was equally magnetic, and while rumors of a romance swirled, the duo always maintained they were just good friends, though their easy chemistry suggested otherwise. Roberts' wide, radiant smile and her impromptu shopping spree scene became a symbol of how even the most unlikely love stories can turn into a fairy tale. Fast forward to today. Richard Gere has continued to thrive in both film and television, taking on more serious roles in movies like Primal Fear, 1996, and the recent Norman, 2016. He remains a dedicated activist, especially for human rights and Tibetan causes. Julia Roberts, on the other hand, cemented her place as one of Hollywood's leading ladies, with hits like My Best Friend's Wedding, 1997, and Erin Brockovich, 2000, the latter of which earned her an Oscar. She's become a philanthropist and advocate for environmental and humanitarian causes. Though their professional paths have shifted, the magic between Gere and Roberts in Pretty Woman is as timeless as ever. The film continues to inspire, with modern references in pop culture, tributes on social media, and a legacy that proves love can blossom in the most unexpected of places. Who do you miss the most from the golden era of romance movies? Type 1R in the comments, then keep watching to see if your favorite star made the list. Some Kind of Wonderful. In Some Kind of Wonderful, 1987, Eric Stoltz and Mary Stuart Masterson brought to life a poignant high school romance that continues to resonate with fans of 80s teen cinema. Directed by John Hughes, this underrated gem captured the angst and excitement of teenage love, with Stoltz playing Keith Nelson, a sensitive artistic teen who falls for the seemingly perfect Amanda, Leah Thompson, while unknowingly being adored by his tough-as-nails best friend Watts, portrayed by Masterson. The film's emotional depth and its exploration of unrequited love, friendship, and self-discovery made it a cult favorite. As Keith Stoltz radiated the vulnerability of a teen trying to find his place in the world, while Masterson's Watts was the ultimate tomboy with a heart of gold, hiding her feelings behind a mask of toughness. Their on-screen chemistry was rich and layered, with Watts silently harboring her love for Keith, making the film's final moments, where Keith realizes who truly has his heart, all the more satisfying. While the romantic tension was palpable, Stoltz and Masterson's off-screen friendship was equally genuine, and many fans wondered if the chemistry they shared was more than just acting. Fast forward to today, Eric Stoltz went on to star in a variety of films, including Pulp Fiction, 1994, and Kiss the Girls, 1997. He later found success behind the camera, directing episodes of popular TV shows like Glee and Madam Secretary. Meanwhile, Mary Stuart Masterson's career has spanned both acting and directing, with notable performances in Fried Green Tomatoes, 1991, and Benny and June, 1993. She now focuses on directing and producing while also advocating for social change. While their lives have shifted since the film's release, the love story between Keith and Watts remains a nostalgic symbol of unspoken feelings and growing up. Decades later, Some Kind of Wonderful still garners affection from fans, with the unforgettable Watts-Keith dynamic continuing to inspire discussions and tributes, solidifying its place in romantic film history. Harold and Maude. In Harold and Maude, 1971, Bud Cort and Ruth Gordon delivered a quirky, unexpected love story that forever changed the way we view romance. The film's unconventional pairing of Harold, a morbid young man obsessed with death, and Maude, a free-spirited 79-year-old who embraces life with wild abandon, became a cult classic. Combining dark humor with profound life lessons, Harold and Maude didn't just explore love. It challenged societal norms about age, death, and what it means to truly live. Its message of living fully, regardless of age, still resonates with audiences today. As Harold, Cort's portrayal of a young man lost in his own bleak world was both poignant and darkly comedic. Ruth Gordon's Maude, on the other hand, radiated warmth, wisdom, and infectious energy. She taught Harold to embrace the present, and her carefree philosophy of life contrasted beautifully with his. Their bond was transformative, not just for Harold, but for viewers who saw their unlikely relationship as a celebration of love in its purest form. Their chemistry was magical, not defined by traditional romantic tropes, but by the simple, profound connection between two souls who needed each other to grow. Today, Bud Cort remains a cherished figure in indie film, though his screen appearances have become rarer in recent years. His portrayal of Harold has ensured his place in the hearts of cinema lovers, particularly in discussions of unconventional characters. Ruth Gordon, who passed away in 1985, left behind a legacy as a trailblazing actress and writer, with her performance as Maude still remembered as one of the most inspiring portrayals of joy and freedom in film. Harold and Maude continues to influence modern culture, with its themes of defiance and embracing life's fleeting moments. The film still inspires audiences, regularly being cited in film retrospectives and celebrated for its bold, timeless take on love and life. Titanic. In Titanic, 1997, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet ignited the screen with a love story for the ages. Their portrayal of Jack Dawson and Rose DeWitt Bucata, two star-crossed lovers from vastly different worlds aboard the ill-fated RMS Titanic, captivated audiences worldwide. Directed by James Cameron, the film became a cultural phenomenon, earning 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and remains one of the highest-grossing films of all time. The unforgettable image of Jack and Rose standing at the bow of the ship, arms outstretched as My Heart Will Go On plays in the background, is etched into the hearts of moviegoers forever. As Jack, DiCaprio embodied the spirit of youthful adventure and unfiltered passion, bringing charm and depth to the role of the penniless artist who seizes every moment of life. Winslet's Rose, a young woman trapped in a life of privilege yet yearning for freedom, was both fierce and vulnerable, giving a powerful performance that earned her an Academy Award nomination. The chemistry between DiCaprio and Winslet was electric, and while rumors of a real-life romance never materialized, their off-screen bond was undeniable, with both actors speaking fondly of their deep friendship. The film's epic tragedy, combined with their emotional performances, solidified Titanic as a timeless love story. Years after Titanic made them household names, Leonardo DiCaprio went on to establish himself as one of Hollywood's most talented and versatile actors, with iconic roles in Inception, 2010, The Revenant, 2015, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 2019, earning his long-awaited Oscar for Best Actor. Kate Winslet's career also flourished, with standout performances in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2004, The Reader, 2008, and Steve Jobs, 2015, for which she won an Academy Award. Though both have found success in a variety of roles since Titanic, their roles as Jack and Rose remain etched in cinematic history. The film continues to inspire fan tributes, from cosplay to TikTok challenges, and its legacy remains strong, proving that their love story transcends time, much like the ship itself. Is the flying scene at the bow of the ship the most iconic movie moment of the 90s? Comment yes if you agree. The Way We Were. In The Way We Were, 1973, Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford brought to life a heart-wrenching love story that still tugs at the heartstrings of audiences today. Their portrayal of Katie Morosky, a politically driven and passionate woman, and Hubble Gardner, a charming, carefree writer, created a whirlwind romance defined by both deep affection and profound differences. Directed by Sidney Pollack, the film's bittersweet narrative about love, loss, and the passage of time became a cultural touchstone, cementing itself as one of the most iconic romantic dramas of the 1970s. The unforgettable theme song, The Way We Were, sung by Streisand, remains one of the most beloved ballads in cinematic history. As Katie, Streisand's powerful performance captured the essence of a woman unafraid to fight for her beliefs, while Redford's portrayal of the laid-back but conflicted Hubble made for the perfect contrast. Their intense chemistry, filled with both passion and tension, reflected the complexities of their relationship, one that could never quite overcome the divide between their differing worlds. The film's tragic ending, where love cannot bridge the gap of irreconcilable differences, left audiences mourning not only the characters, but the loss of what could have been. Over the decades, Barbra Streisand's career continued to soar, with her versatility spanning acting, singing, directing, and producing. She became an icon of American cinema and music, winning numerous awards, including Oscars for both her acting and her musical achievements. Robert Redford, who was already a superstar by the time The Way We Were was released, went on to build a legendary career, starring in films like All the President's Men, 1976, and The Sting, 1973. He also became a prominent director and producer, founding the Sundance Institute, which has become a hub for independent film. Though their characters' love story ended in heartbreak, the legacy of The Way We Were endures. Fans still turn to the film for its timeless exploration of love and memory, and Streisand and Redford's performances continue to be celebrated as a perfect blend of chemistry and poignancy. The film remains an enduring symbol of the complexities of love and the passing of time. Pretty in Pink. In Pretty in Pink, 1986, Molly Ringwald and Andrew McCarthy brought to life one of the most iconic teen romances of the 1980s. Directed by John Hughes, the film captured the tensions of high school social cliques and the unlikely romance between Andy Walsh, a quirky, independent girl from a working-class background, and Blaine McDonough, a rich, popular boy. The chemistry between Ringwald and McCarthy was electric, and their portrayals of two teenagers from different worlds falling in love became a touchstone for a generation. With its memorable soundtrack, vibrant fashion, and unforgettable moments, Pretty in Pink became a defining movie of the era, celebrated for its portrayal of love, class struggles, and self-acceptance. As Andy, Ringwald showcased her trademark blend of vulnerability and strength, navigating the ups and downs of teenage life with a fierce determination to stay true to herself. McCarthy's Blaine, on the other hand, embodied the internal conflict of a boy, torn between his affection for Andy and the pressures of his privileged life. Their relationship, filled with emotional highs and lows, resonated with anyone who had ever experienced the push and pull of love and societal expectations. Fans were captivated by their chemistry, and despite the tumultuous nature of their romance, the film's iconic ending, with Blaine returning to Andy, left viewers with a sense of hope. Since Pretty in Pink, Molly Ringwald became a defining star of the 1980s, continuing to work with John Hughes in films like 16 Candles, 1984, and The Breakfast Club, 1985. She later transitioned to a successful career in television, including her role on Riverdale. Andrew McCarthy, after his role as Blaine, starred in a string of beloved 80s films, including St. Elmo's Fire, 1985, and Weekend at Bernie's, 1989, before transitioning into directing and writing, with a focus on travel and memoirs. Though both have taken on diverse roles since, Pretty in Pink remains a quintessential 80s classic. Their portrayal of Andy and Blaine's tender, imperfect romance still resonates, inspiring tributes and nostalgic love stories across generations, from fan theories to TikTok edits, proving that some love stories are simply forever. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. In 4 Weddings and a Funeral, 1994, Hugh Grant and Andie MacDowell brought to life one of the most beloved romantic comedies of the 90s. Directed by Mike Newell, the film captured the charm, awkwardness, and undeniable chemistry between Charles, a perpetually unlucky-in-love Brit, and Carrie, an American woman who seems to always be just out of reach. With its witty dialogue, ensemble cast, and a series of unforgettable moments, 4 Weddings and a Funeral became an instant classic, making audiences laugh, cry, and fall in love with its imperfect yet deeply sincere romance. As Charles, Hugh Grant perfected his signature bumbling, endearing charm, portraying a man who struggles to express his feelings but is irresistibly lovable all the same. Andie MacDowell's Carrie, with her warmth and elegance, was the perfect foil to Charles's hapless romanticism. Their on-screen chemistry, filled with moments of longing, missed opportunities, and finally sweet resolution, made their eventual union feel earned. The film's iconic final scene, where Charles confesses his love at the last wedding, is a heartwarming, cathartic moment that sealed the film's place as a romantic comedy classic. Since 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Hugh Grant's career blossomed, with memorable roles in Notting Hill, 1999, and Love Actually, 2003, solidifying him as one of Hollywood's leading romantic comedy stars. He later ventured into more dramatic roles in films like Florence Foster Jenkins, 2016, and The Undoing, 2020, on television, showcasing his range as an actor. Andie MacDowell also continued to have a varied career, starring in films like Groundhog Day, 1993, and The Muse, 1999, and later making waves in television with roles in Cedar Cove, 2013, 2015, and May 2021. Though their paths diverged in the years since, the legacy of 4 weddings and a funeral remains. The film continues to inspire romantic tributes, from fan celebrations to references in modern media. Its message that love doesn't always happen when you expect it, but it's worth the wait, resonates as deeply today as it did when it first captivated audiences. The Goodbye Girl. In The Goodbye Girl, 1977, Richard Dreyfuss and Marsha Mason brought an unexpected love story to life, blending humor, vulnerability, and raw emotion. Directed by Herbert Ross, the film tells the tale of Elliot Garfield, a temperamental, aspiring actor, and Paula McFadden, a down-to-earth single mother who are forced to share a New York apartment under less than ideal circumstances. What begins as a contentious living arrangement soon turns into a charming, unpredictable romance, and Dreyfuss and Mason's impeccable chemistry made it one of the most heartwarming romantic comedies of the 1970s. As Elliot, Dreyfuss delivered a breakout performance, portraying a character filled with ambition and neuroses, but with an undeniable tenderness beneath his tough exterior. Marsha Mason's Paula, a woman who's trying to balance her own dreams and motherhood, was both strong and vulnerable, creating a character audiences could deeply relate to. The two actors brought humor and depth to their roles, with their bickering, banter, and gradual emotional connection making for an endearing and unforgettable romance. Their relationship, marked by witty dialogue and heartfelt moments, captured the messy, unpredictable nature of falling in love. Since The Goodbye Girl, Richard Dreyfuss's career skyrocketed, earning him critical acclaim in films like Jaws, 1975, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, and The Big Picture, 1989. He won an Academy Award for The Goodbye Girl and continued to showcase his remarkable range in both comedic and dramatic roles. Marsha Mason, while perhaps best known for this role, also starred in films like Chapter 2, 1979, and Only When I Laugh, 1981, earning Oscar nominations for her performances. She later shifted to a quieter life on stage and television. More than 4 decades after its release, The Goodbye Girl remains a beloved classic, with its portrayal of 2 unlikely individuals finding love in the most unexpected of circumstances, continuing to inspire new generations. The film's timeless themes of self-discovery, resilience, and love still resonate, making it a cherished part of cinematic history. Can't Buy Me Love. In Can't Buy Me Love, 1987, Patrick Dempsey and Amanda Peterson became the quintessential 80s teen rom-com couple, sparking a love story that's still celebrated for its charm and humor. Directed by Steve Rash, the film tells the story of Ronald Miller, an awkward, intelligent high school student who pays popular cheerleader Cindy Mancini to pretend to be his girlfriend in order to boost his social status. What begins as a contract relationship soon turns into something more, as the unlikely pair discovers deeper connections beneath the surface. With Dempsey's lovable geek turned heartthrob and Peterson's endearing performance, Can't Buy Me Love captured the spirit of teenage aspiration, self-discovery, and of course, first love. As Ronald, Dempsey showcased his now iconic blend of vulnerability and charm, turning what could have been a stereotypical nerd character into someone relatable and likable. Peterson's Cindy, initially the perfect popular girl, was more than just a pretty face, revealing layers of insecurity and depth as the story progressed. Their chemistry was infectious, with their journey from fake couple to real friends and lovers being filled with humor, awkward moments, and heartfelt realizations. The film's message, that true love and self-worth can't be bought, resonated deeply with audiences and made it a standout in the teen genre. Since Can't Buy Me Love, Patrick Dempsey became a household name with his role as Dr. Derek McDreamy Shepherd on Grey's Anatomy, 2005 to 2015, solidifying his status as a leading man in both television and film. He also appeared in films like Enchanted, 2007, and Maid of Honor, 2008, continuing to captivate audiences with his charm. Amanda Peterson, after starring in Can't Buy Me Love, had a promising career in teen films including Summer School, 1987, but eventually stepped away from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life. Sadly, she passed away in 2015. Though their careers have taken different paths, the legacy of Can't Buy Me Love endures. The film remains a nostalgic favorite, with its timeless message about staying true to yourself and finding love where you least expect it. Even decades later, fans still celebrate Ronald and Cindy's journey, ensuring the film remains a beloved piece of 80s cinematic history. The Bodyguard. In The Bodyguard, 1992, Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston created one of the most unforgettable on-screen pairings in romantic thriller history. Directed by Mick Jackson, the film tells the story of Frank Farmer, a former Secret Service agent turned bodyguard, hired to protect pop star Rachel Marron, a Houston, from a dangerous stalker. What begins as a professional relationship evolves into an undeniable, intense romance set against a backdrop of suspense and passion. With Costner's steely presence and Houston's powerhouse vocal performances, The Bodyguard became a global phenomenon, with its soundtrack, especially Houston's iconic ballad I Will Always Love You, becoming a defining piece of 90s music. As Frank, Costner embodied the role of the stoic protector, a man who must remain emotionally distant but ultimately falls for the woman he's sworn to keep safe. Houston's Rachel, an elegant but troubled diva, was both fierce and vulnerable, her raw talent contrasting beautifully with her personal struggles. Their chemistry was palpable, with the film's blend of action, romance and drama making it one of the highest-grossing films of the year. The romance that blossomed between them, despite their starkly different worlds, became an instant classic, and the tension between love and duty made their eventual connection all the more compelling. In the years that followed, Kevin Costner continued to thrive in both film and television, with iconic roles in Dances with Wolves, 1990, which earned him multiple Academy Awards, and more recently in Yellowstone, 2018 present. His versatility and longevity in Hollywood have cemented his place as one of the industry's most respected actors. Whitney Houston, who shone brightly with her performance in The Bodyguard, became even more renowned for her powerful voice and musical career. Her passing in 2012 left a deep void, but her legacy as an artist endures, inspiring new generations of singers and actors. The lasting impact of The Bodyguard is undeniable. The romantic thriller, with its seamless mix of suspense, drama, and unforgettable music, remains a timeless classic, celebrated by fans and remembered for the unforgettable chemistry between its two leads. The film's soundtrack continues to be a global symbol of love, protection, and sacrifice, and its legacy lives on in pop culture today. Grease. In Grease, 1978, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John sparked an unforgettable romance that became etched in the hearts of audiences worldwide. Set in the 1950s, the film catapulted to cultural icon status, blending irresistible songs, colorful dance numbers, and sizzling on-screen chemistry between its leads. Travolta's portrayal of Danny Zuko, the charming and rebellious heartthrob, and Newton-John's Sandy Olsen, the sweet and innocent new girl, set the stage for one of the most iconic love stories in musical film history. Their chemistry was undeniable, making Grease a joyous, vibrant ride filled with catchy tunes and carefree fun that has endured for decades. Danny and Sandy's journey from summer love to high school drama was filled with playful tension and memorable musical moments. Travolta's Danny was the quintessential bad boy with a soft spot for Sandy, while Newton-John's Sandy underwent a transformation that turned her from the demure girl next door into a bold, confident woman who was ready to take control of her own narrative. Their iconic duet in You're the One That I Want and the electrifying final scene in We Go Together perfectly encapsulated the energy, fun, and magic of the film, making it a timeless classic that continues to inspire nostalgia. John Travolta went on to enjoy a prolific career, starring in films like Saturday Night Fever, 1977, Pulp Fiction, 1994, and Hairspray, 2007. His range as an actor, coupled with his enduring status as a pop culture icon, has kept him in the spotlight for decades. Olivia Newton-John, meanwhile, became a symbol of both music and strength, continuing to release hit songs like Physical while also dedicating herself to health advocacy and charity work. She starred in several other films, but will forever be remembered for her role as Sandy, which continues to define her career. When Harry Met Sally. In When Harry Met Sally, 1989, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan delivered a perfect blend of humor, heart, and wit, forever changing the way we view romantic comedies. Directed by Rob Reiner, the film follows the evolving relationship between Harry Burns and Sally Albright, two New Yorkers who first meet during a car ride from Chicago to New York and later become close friends. Their witty banter, sharp observations, and gradual evolution from friends to lovers make the film a quintessential exploration of whether men and women can truly be friends. With memorable moments and the unforgettable scene in Katz's Delicatessen, When Harry Met Sally has remained a staple in romantic cinema. Billy Crystal's portrayal of Harry, the sarcastic and often cynical man who believes men and women can't be friends, brought a unique mix of charm and comedic timing to the character. Meg Ryan's Sally, on the other hand, was the epitome of the idealistic, organized woman who believes in true love, creating a perfect contrast with Harry's more jaded view. Their friendship slowly deepened over the course of the film, creating one of the most beloved will-they-won't-they relationships in film history. The chemistry between Crystal and Ryan was undeniable, with their conversations about love, life, and relationships bringing a level of depth to the rom-com genre rarely seen before. Since When Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal has continued to be a fixture in comedy, starring in films like City Slickers, 1991, Analyze This, 1999, and hosting the Academy Awards several times. His charm and quick wit have kept him in demand for both film and television projects. Meg Ryan, known for her roles in Sleepless in Seattle, 1993, and You've Got Mail, 1998, became one of the leading romantic comedy stars of the 90s. Though she later explored more dramatic roles, her performances as Sally remain iconic. Ghost. In Ghost, 1990, Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore created an unforgettable emotional love story that blends romance with the supernatural. Directed by Jerry Zucker, the film tells the story of Sam Wheat, a banker who is tragically murdered and becomes a ghost, desperately trying to protect his girlfriend, Molly Jensen, from danger. With the help of a psychic, Oda Mae Brown, Whoopi Goldberg, Sam's ghost navigates the afterlife in a bid to make sure Molly is safe and find a way to communicate his love for her. Swayze and Moore's performances were both heartfelt and powerful, making Ghost a box office hit and one of the most memorable love stories of the 90s. Patrick Swayze's portrayal of Sam, a loving partner who refuses to let death separate him from Molly, was both tender and intense. Demi Moore's Molly, left devastated by Sam's death, delivered a raw performance as a woman torn between grief and a newfound sense of empowerment. The chemistry between them, even after Sam's death, was palpable, making the iconic pottery scene set to Unchained Melody one of the most romantic moments in film history. Ghost wasn't just about the bond between two lovers, but about the lengths one would go to for the person they love, even beyond death. After Ghost, Patrick Swayze continued to be a star with roles in films like Point Break, 1991, Dirty Dancing, 1987, and To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, 1995, further solidifying his place as a Hollywood icon. Demi Moore, who had already made a name for herself with films like Disclosure, 1994, and A Few Good Men, 1992, continued her successful career in both film and television, earning critical praise for her versatility. What if we told you that some of Hollywood's biggest stars secretly owned bizarre hidden mansions? Homes so strange they didn't want anyone to know about them. These weren't just ordinary celebrity pads, they were full of secrets, oddities, and stories you won't believe. After their deaths, these homes became public, revealing some shocking and downright weird facts. Want to know which star tried to keep their eccentric lifestyle under wraps? Stay tuned as we dive into 21 of the weirdest celebrity mansions Hollywood tried to hide. You won't want to miss this. Charlie Chaplin. The Beverly Hills residence of Charlie Chaplin was both understated and brimming with fanciful touches, mirroring the inventive mind responsible for timeless films like City Lights and Modern Times. Constructed in the 1920s, this compact property lacked grandeur, but featured a concealed passageway said to connect to a secretive wine cellar. Rumors suggest Chaplin utilized this route to evade intrusive journalists or gather friends for intimate gatherings out of the spotlight. A unique element of the estate was a diminutive stage outdoors, where he could polish comedic routines or experiment with fresh concepts prior to shooting. Despite being an international celebrity, Chaplin preserved the authentic 1920s interior design, indicating his enduring connection to simpler times. This unpretentious abode served as a retreat during the heightened political pressures of the McCarthy era, which eventually prompted his departure from the US. Chaplin's sense of amusement extended to the garden, adorned with whimsical statues and water features that echoed the jovial essence he infused into his cinematic works. Privately owned today, the house is not available for visits, yet it remains a cherished symbol in Hollywood history. It stands as a subtle tribute to Chaplin's imaginative flair and a testament to how even celebrated figures require a sanctuary for inspiration and repose. Gloria Swanson. Gloria Swanson's mansion in Beverly Hills, often referred to as Casa del Sol, was as flamboyant as the actress herself. Constructed in the 1920s in an attention-grabbing Spanish Moorish style, the residence featured graceful archways, intricate tilework, and even its own private chapel. As one of the first true Hollywood icons, Swanson filled the estate with exotic treasures, from Egyptian relics to rare antiques collected from various corners of the globe. However, beneath its glamorous facade lay some hidden features. The mansion contained a concealed passageway leading to a small private room, thought to be used for intimate gatherings or a peaceful retreat. Known for hosting extravagant parties that outshone even the most elaborate Hollywood events, Swanson entertained a wide range of famous personalities. But by the 1930s, as her star began to fade, the upkeep of such an opulent estate became more challenging. Financial difficulties prompted her to sell, and over the years, the property changed hands several times. Eventually, Casa del Sol was demolished, erasing the physical traces of Swanson's extravagant sanctuary. Nonetheless, the mansion remains a lasting symbol of her iconic persona in the minds of film enthusiasts. Its destruction serves as a poignant reminder of how fleeting Hollywood's golden era can be. Errol Flynn. Nestled in the Hollywood Hills, Errol Flynn's Mulholland Farm was a fitting retreat for the charismatic star of Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood. Completed in the 1940s, the sprawling estate featured a primary residence, a guest cottage, and a sparkling pool encircled by verdant gardens. Known for his screen duels and off-camera exploits, Flynn infused the property with eccentric details, such as a covert corridor leading to a concealed bedroom and a two-way mirror, enabling him to secretly watch guests. A shooting range for target practice and a private lounge for festive gatherings were among his other additions. Yet beyond showcasing Flynn's adventurous nature, the opulent estate mirrored a somber reality. As his career declined in the 1950s, accompanied by financial woes and declining health, the property succumbed to disrepair, paralleling the actor's personal downfall. Ultimately, the estate changed hands and was torn down, erasing the tangible evidence of Flynn's unrestrained lifestyle. Despite its disappearance, the legacy of Mulholland Farm persists. Enthusiasts continue to discuss its enigmatic passageways and spirited soirees, viewing it as a vivid portrayal of Flynn's larger-than-life persona. In the end, it serves as another example of Hollywood's capacity to both birth and devour its legends. Mae West. Mae West took a unique approach compared to many of her Hollywood contemporaries by choosing a stylish yet relatively understated apartment in the historic Ravenswood building. Despite its modesty, the interior was far from ordinary. West famously decorated the space almost entirely in white, from luxurious carpets to gleaming mirrored walls. One of the most memorable elements was her seashell-shaped bed, a piece that perfectly reflected the bold humor and dramatic flair she brought to her acting roles. She also surrounded herself with mementos from her career, including extravagant costumes, props, and photographs documenting her rise to fame. Even with her immense success, West never saw the need to move into a sprawling estate. Instead, she remained in the Ravenswood for many years, staying true to her choice even as Hollywood evolved and new stars emerged. Over time, rumors about ghosts and mysterious occurrences in the building have persisted, with some residents claiming to feel her presence in the halls. Whether these stories are true or not, West's long-term residence in the Ravenswood stands as a testament to her fiercely independent spirit. She lived life on her own terms, never succumbing to the pressures of fleeting trends. Even today, her name evokes an image of sharp wit, quick repartee, and a woman who refused to fade into the background. Which celebrity do you think owns the strangest mansion? Type 1 in the comments, then keep watching to find out if your guess matches the list. John Barrymore. Nestled in Beverly Hills and built in the 1920s, John Barrymore's Bella Vista estate embodied the dramatic flair and multifaceted character of the actor known as the Great Profile. The expansive property included a lavish library filled with rare books and manuscripts, some of which were cleverly concealed within hidden compartments in the walls. Avidly fond of classical theatre, Barrymore constructed a private stage where he could practice Shakespearean roles or entertain select companions. Gothic-inspired decor, rich wood paneling and dramatic lighting accentuated his theatrical sensibilities, marking the home as far more than just a typical celebrity residence. Wildlife roamed freely through the halls, with Barrymore famously housing a monkey and a parrot that moved about like unexpected guests. However, the grandeur of Bella Vista came to represent a decline. As his health deteriorated and financial burdens mounted in the 1930s, Barrymore was forced to part ways with the estate, dealing a crushing blow to a man who had once reigned supreme in Hollywood. Following its sale, the property was ultimately demolished, obliterating a distinctive tribute to Barrymore's brilliant yet tumultuous life. Nevertheless, tales of secret bookshelves and spontaneous Shakespeare performances continue to captivate aficionados of classic cinema, serving as poignant reminders of the actor's extraordinary talent and his tragic final days. Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr's Hollywood home was a perfect reflection of her unique combination of allure and intellect. Built in the 1940s atop the hills, the house boasted a modern, minimalist design, with expansive windows that flooded the interior with natural light. At first glance, it seemed like a typical stylish residence for a glamorous star. However, what set Lamarr's home apart was her genius. She was more than just a stunning actress, she was also an inventor. Away from the public eye, Lamarr had a private workshop in her home where she worked on innovative ideas, including the revolutionary frequency hopping technology that would later contribute to the development of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. In a city obsessed with red carpets and glittering premieres, Lamarr quietly pursued her intellectual passions, rarely inviting anyone into her workshop, and few knew of her remarkable problem-solving abilities. This rare combination of beauty and brilliance made her something of a legend in Hollywood. Although the house no longer exists, its legacy endures in the minds of fans who admire how Lamarr seamlessly balanced her fame with groundbreaking scientific work. In an era when few believed a leading lady could also be a serious inventor, her story highlights the hidden depth beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface, demonstrating that creativity can flourish in any field, even within an industry built on image. Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes's Beverly Hills property resembled a labyrinth that reflected the complex and troubled mind of its owner. Acquired in the 1920s, the estate lay hidden behind high walls and thick vegetation, providing total seclusion to a man who grew increasingly withdrawn over time. The interior blended modern luxury with advanced technology, reflecting Hughes's penchant for innovation in both aviation and his personal life. He even constructed a private airstrip on the grounds, allowing him to move freely without interacting with the outside world. As his anxieties and idiosyncrasies intensified, Hughes incorporated secret chambers and passageways into the design, guaranteeing absolute privacy. Whispers circulated about his meticulous attention to detail, from arranging furniture to controlling the precise temperatures in each room. By the 1940s and 1950s, as his mental state deteriorated, the mansion transformed from a luxurious sanctuary into something closer to a voluntary confinement. Decades after his passing in the 1970s, the house was sold and later razed, breaking its enigmatic presence in the area. Still, stories of Hughes's brilliance, paranoia, and secrecy persist, serving as a reminder that exceptional talent often demands a heavy toll, and that solitude can offer both refuge and restraint. Dolores Del Rio. Dolores Del Rio's Los Angeles home reflected her strong pride in Mexican heritage and her openness to embracing innovative ideas. Built in the 1920s by the visionary architect Richard Neutra, the sleek design stood in stark contrast to the elaborate mansions favored by Hollywood's elite. The large windows and open spaces created a minimalist, airy feel that aligned with Del Rio's desire to showcase a modern interpretation of luxury. Inside, she filled the space with art and artifacts from Mexico, transforming it into a personal sanctuary where she could honor her roots. The unique atmosphere attracted other creative figures, including painters, writers, and notable stars like Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo, who found the home a welcome change from the typical Hollywood style. However, as Del Rio's career in the US slowed during the 1940s, She chose to return to Mexico, where she continued acting and maintained her status as a major influence on Mexican cinema. Over the years, the house changed ownership, and various alterations gradually obscured Neutra's original vision. Nonetheless, architecture enthusiasts still recognize the home's significant role in introducing modernist design to Southern California. For many, Dolores del Rio's former residence remains a lasting symbol of how an artist can seamlessly combine cultural heritage with cutting-edge design, leaving an indelible legacy beyond just the silver screen. James Dean. James Dean's last home, a modest bungalow in Sherman Oaks, offered a striking contrast to the fast-paced persona he portrayed on screen. During the mid-1950s, he rented this unassuming property, opting for tranquility away from the flashy allure of Hollywood events. Despite its simplicity, the bungalow provided subtle insights into Dean's dynamic nature and intense passions. Notably, his beloved Porsche 550 Spider occupied the garage, a vehicle destined to gain infamous recognition following his tragic demise. Within the bungalow, Dean displayed a contemplative side, often sketching, studying scripts, or exploring his interest in bongos, revealing a creative curiosity beyond acting. Friends remembered him using the space to escape the relentless pressures of the film industry, seeking solace in a place where he could live authentically without constant performance. Following his sudden death in 1955, the bungalow stayed largely untouched, functioning as a frozen moment in time from his brief yet remarkable life. Although modern updates have altered its appearance, fans still visit curiously, imagining Dean in his everyday role as a young man navigating ambition and doubt. In many ways, the bungalow's simplicity highlights the vast gap between the legendary James Dean and the genuine individual who once sought refuge within its walls, longing for calm amidst a world he departed far too early. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield's home, famously dubbed the Pink Palace, was truly one of a kind. Built in the late 1950s in Los Angeles, it was impossible to overlook with its vibrant bubblegum pink exterior and extravagant design. The house was said to mirror Jayne's bold and larger-than-life personality, with each room reflecting her unique flair. Notable features included a heart-shaped swimming pool adorned with a mosaic that read, "I love you, Janie," and the pervasive pink hue that dominated the walls, ceilings, and even the carpets. Her husband, Mickey Hargitay, a former Mr. Universe, added his own personal touch by installing a fountain that Jayne would sometimes fill with pink champagne for her famous parties. While the home was certainly eye-catching, it also symbolized Jayne's desire to stand out in Hollywood, a town that often compared her to Marilyn Monroe. She refused to blend in, and the Pink Palace was a bold declaration of that. Unfortunately, the house was demolished in the early 2000s. Nonetheless, its extravagant and over-the-top style lives on in the memories of many. The Pink Palace remains a vivid symbol of a woman who embraced every chance to be different all the way to the end of her life. Was the Pink Palace a perfect reflection of Jayne Mansfield's larger-than-life personality? Comment yes if you agree. Let's discuss its symbolism. Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton's former Beverly Hills home exuded an atmosphere reminiscent of the silent film era. Constructed in the 1920s, the 20-room mansion was filled with unique features, including a Roman-style pool, a trout stream, and an aviary. Keaton, renowned for his innovative comedic approach, personalized the property with a hidden bar that could transform into a private screening room. Back then, the house symbolized his success during the heyday of silent films. Yet this grand estate also hinted at future hardships for Keaton. Financial difficulties and a difficult divorce cost him this beloved property, echoing the wider struggles he encountered as the rise of talkies diminished his career. Alcoholism compounded his challenges, and the estate became a symbol of how quickly fame in Hollywood could fade. After all, even a gifted entertainer like Keaton couldn't retain everything when fortune turned against him. Today, the house no longer exists, but its tale continues to resonate with fans and scholars. It represents a poignant part of Keaton's journey, highlighting both his artistic triumphs and the personal and professional obstacles he faced off-screen. Marlon Davis. Marion Davis's Ocean House, located in Santa Monica, was much more than just a mansion. It had the grandeur of a royal palace by the sea. Completed in the 1920s with financial support from her powerful partner William Randolph Hearst, the estate boasted over 100 rooms, 55 bathrooms, and 37 fireplaces. The crowning feature was a massive 110-foot swimming pool surrounded by marble statues and lush gardens. Davies, who transitioned from a silent film star to a glamorous socialite, hosted legendary parties attended by figures like Winston Churchill and Charlie Chaplin, events that have remained part of Hollywood lore. However, beneath the glamour there was a quieter truth. Marion's lavish home wasn't just a reflection of her success. It also revealed her reliance on Hearst, a domineering figure whose influence sometimes overshadowed her personal ambitions. When Hearst's financial problems hit in the 1930s, the grand estate was divided, and the main house was demolished in the 1950s. While much of the property is gone, the guest house and pool still stand today as part of the Annenberg Community Beach House. In a way, these remnants symbolize the dreams Marion Davies pursued and the sacrifices she made to remain at the center of Hollywood's elite. Though the mansion itself has disappeared, the legacy of her ambition lingers by the ocean. Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph Valentino's Falcon Lair was more than just a residence. It exuded an aura of intrigue and grandeur. Constructed in the 1920s in Beverly Crest, the estate mirrored his Italian heritage, featuring expansive gardens, arched entrances, and a majestic staircase, evoking images of medieval Europe. Named after his film The Hooded Falcon, the property became intertwined with Valentino's personal battles. Valentino invested significant wealth and emotion into Falcon Lair, but scarcely got to savor it. Just months after relocating, he died suddenly at the age of 31, leaving fans devastated. Mourners visited the estate for years, leaving bouquets at the gates. There were rumors that Valentino believed the home was cursed, a belief that gained traction following his untimely death. Over the decades, the estate changed hands multiple times, and each new owner recounted peculiar occurrences, such as unsettling noises and mysterious apparitions. By the early 2000s, Falcon Lair was demolished, erasing its physical existence. Yet its legacy lives on as a spectral homage to Hollywood's first great romantic icon, serving as a reminder that fame can be mesmerizing, yet mercilessly transient, haunting those who pursue it with equal measures of hope and dread. Mary Pickford. Mary Pickford's mansion, Pickfair, stood like a kingdom in Beverly Hills, symbolizing her status as one of Hollywood's first major stars. Built in the 1920s, the grand estate featured 42 rooms and was shared with her husband, Douglas Fairbanks. Together, they transformed it into a social hub for some of the most prominent figures of the era, such as Albert Einstein, Charlie Chaplin, and Amelia Earhart. While Pickfair was known for its glamorous gatherings, it also held a more somber story about Mary's personal life. After her divorce from Fairbanks in the 1930s, she became increasingly reclusive, rarely leaving the mansion. It is said that in her later years she wandered the luxurious rooms, weighed down by the ghosts of her past stardom and the broken relationship. In the 1990s, the mansion was demolished by Pia Zadora, its then owner, who cited issues like termite damage and even rumored hauntings. The demolition sparked outrage among film history lovers, who viewed it as the loss of a cherished Hollywood landmark. Though Pickfair is no longer physically standing, its name still conjures images of movie stars in their prime. In many ways, it represents both the dazzling highs and the hidden heartaches that often lie beneath the surface of Hollywood's glittering facade. Douglas Fairbanks. Douglas Fairbanks, celebrated for his adventurous roles in films like The Thief of Baghdad and Robin Hood, led an equally extravagant life beyond the silver screen. While he once shared Pickfair with Mary Pickford, he also maintained another estate in Santa Monica known as Fairbanks Ranch. This serene retreat featured meticulously landscaped gardens, a tranquil private lake, and a quaint boathouse. An enthusiastic athlete, Fairbanks equipped the property with a state-of-the-art gym and a tennis court, where he hosted lively matches attended by Tinseltown's elite. Among the most captivating aspects of Fairbanks Ranch was a concealed tunnel connecting the main house to the boathouse. It's rumored he used it to evade intrusive journalists or make dramatic arrivals for his guests. As his marriage dissolved and his box office appeal faded, Fairbanks retreated to this sanctuary, distancing himself from public scrutiny. Eventually, the property was sold and divided, but its mystique endured. The notion of a hidden tunnel and secluded lake encapsulates the blend of flamboyance and privacy that characterized Fairbanks's later years. To this day, his vivacious spirit and active lifestyle remain alive in memory, offering a glimpse into an era when Hollywood icons could create their own havens away from prying eyes. Enjoying this video? Like and subscribe for more. Not feeling it? A like would still be appreciated, and your comments will help me do better next time. Alla Nazimova. Alla Nazimova's Garden of Allah, nestled on Sunset Boulevard, was a vibrant enclave that became a sanctuary for Hollywood's more unconventional creatives. A Russian-born actress and producer, Nazimova purchased the mansion in the 1910s and transformed it into a haven for free thinkers. She added guest villas and a striking swimming pool designed to resemble the Black Sea, further enhancing the property's unique charm. Artists, writers, and actors such as F. Scott Fitzgerald, Greta Garbo, and Errol Flynn were drawn to the Garden of Allah, attracted by its laid-back atmosphere and Nazimova's avant-garde philosophy. It was rumored that she hosted private gatherings that defied the era's conservative values, offering a space where guests could break free from the usual Hollywood norms. However, financial difficulties forced Nazimova to sell the property in the 1920s. Over time, it was repurposed into a hotel, experiencing various peaks and valleys, before being demolished in the 1950s to make way for a strip mall. Today, nothing remains to indicate that this site once thrived with creative energy and bold ideas. Yet the legacy of the Garden of Allah endures, serving as a potent reminder that Hollywood was not only about glamorous blockbusters, but also a refuge for those who dared to be different, even if only for a short time. William Randolph Hearst. William Randolph Hearst's San Simeon estate, commonly known as Hearst Castle, was nothing less than awe-inspiring. Construction began in the 1910s and stretched across the hills of California's central coast, eventually encompassing 165 rooms, sprawling gardens, and 2 enormous swimming pools, one of which was famously adorned with genuine gold tiles. Hearst, a formidable media magnate, held nothing back, importing authentic European ceilings, tapestries, and sculptures to embellish his expansive retreat. A private zoo also roamed the grounds, home to zebras and other exotic animals. Hearst hosted extravagant gatherings for celebrities such as Charlie Chaplin and Clark Gable, yet behind the glamour was a man who relished control. His partner, actress Marion Davies, frequently navigated his opulent preferences alongside her own aspirations. Economic difficulties in the 1930s compelled Hearst to sell much of his treasured artwork, though he managed to retain the estate. Today it operates as a state historical site, allowing visitors to experience the splendor and extravagance Hearst cherished. In many ways, San Simeon serves as a testament to one person's pursuit of power and elegance, while also underscoring the risks of indulgence. No matter how immense one's wealth, challenging times can reshape even the strongest foundations. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow's Beverly Hills home exuded elegance, yet it carried an air of mystery and dark stories. While more modest than some of the grand estates of her peers, it gained infamy following the sudden death of her husband, Paul Byrne. The mysterious circumstances surrounding his passing sparked widespread speculation, attracting both rumors and curious onlookers. Tragically, Harlow herself passed away at the young age of 26, which only fueled the notion that something eerie might be connected to the house. Over the years, subsequent owners reported hearing strange noises and sensing unsettling energies, further cementing its reputation as a haunted property. Yet beyond the dark rumors, the home also reflected Harlow's softer, more personal side. She often surrounded herself with books and mementos that revealed her private interests, details that were seldom seen by the public, who only knew her glamorous on-screen persona. Although Harlow's life ended far too early, her home remains, quietly standing as a reminder of a star who once shone brilliantly. Fans continue to speculate whether the house is truly cursed or simply the backdrop for a series of unfortunate events. Regardless, it has become an integral part of Hollywood's Golden Age legacy, embodying both the dazzling allure and the profound heartbreak that came with life in the spotlight. Harold Lloyd. Harold Lloyd's mansion, famously known as Green Acres, epitomized the vibrant blend of entertainment and ambition in 1920s Hollywood. Spanning 44 rooms, the estate featured a sprawling 50-foot-long living room, multiple fountains, and impeccably maintained gardens. Lloyd, renowned for his daring stunts and silent comedies, channeled the same ingenuity into his home, creating a private zoo, a 9-hole golf course, and a hidden chamber to house his film memorabilia. Greenacres wasn't merely an ostentatious showcase, it was a reflection of Lloyd's unwavering commitment to success. Every corner of the property was designed to embody his dedication to excellence, ensuring it would make a lasting impact. However, as silent films transitioned to talkies, maintaining the expansive estate became increasingly challenging. By the 1970s, much of the property had been sold off to cover expenses. Although the main house still stands today as a historic landmark, the remaining part of Greenacres preserves a significant page in cinematic history. It offers a window into an era when bold screen icons could craft equally audacious homes. Yet it also serves as a cautionary tale of how swiftly fortunes can shift. Lloyd's estate ultimately mirrors his career, grand, innovative, and marked by both achievements and setbacks along the way. Clark Gable. Clark Gable, often regarded as the king of Hollywood, sought solace away from the glitz and glamour at a peaceful ranch in Encino, located in the San Fernando Valley. While Gable was celebrated for his iconic romantic roles such as Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, his private life had a much quieter, more grounded charm. Nestled among farmland and rolling hills, his ranch allowed him to embrace a simpler way of life, far from the relentless gaze of the paparazzi. Built in the 1930s, the property didn't feature the grandiose architecture of other star-studded homes, but it had its own subtle allure. The sprawling fields and well-maintained stables reflected Gable's love for nature. He frequently enjoyed horseback riding along the trails and hosted close friends for informal barbecues, a stark contrast to the extravagant Hollywood parties. A small cottage on the ranch served as his personal sanctuary where he would rehearse his lines or unwind with a book. After experiencing personal tragedies, most notably the death of his wife, Carol Lombard, the ranch became a place of refuge for Gable as he grieved. Locals remember seeing him wandering the property at dusk, finding peace in its serenity. Though Encino has evolved with time and development, the memory of Gable's secluded ranch endures, reminding fans that even Hollywood's royalty sometimes sought a quiet escape. Cary Grant. Cary Grant's suave public persona might lead one to imagine a life filled with luxurious penthouses and opulent mansions, but his actual Beverly Hills retreat told a more understated tale. Hidden behind tall hedges and inconspicuous gates, the property was less a grand palace and more a serene retreat. Grant cherished tranquility and infused his home with subtle humor, blending elegant design with playful accents that reflected the sharp wit behind his polished exterior. Constructed in the late 1930s, the modest residence featured winding pathways and a verdant garden where he enjoyed hosting intimate gatherings for close friends. These casual affairs were reportedly far more laid back than the formal society events he attended publicly. Preferring small groups, Grant relished evenings of casual conversation or screened his latest films in a cozy, improvised viewing space. Whispers even circulated about a hidden niche behind the library shelves, possibly offering a quick shortcut to the study, or simply a whimsical gesture toward Hollywood's intrigue. Though Grant eventually moved away, the house remained a topic of fascination locally, its unassuming facade masking its storied past. Even now, fans idealize the notion of this quiet sanctuary, reminding us that true elegance often flourishes in the most unassuming surroundings. These stars from the 70s, 80s, and 90s shaped our view of love, showing us that sometimes the greatest stories don't end in fairy tales, but in real-life twists and turns. Whether they found new careers, faced challenges, or embraced quieter lives, their journeys remind us that love and success are never one-size-fits-all. But what other iconic couples and legendary stars have surprised us over the years? You won't want to miss what we've uncovered in our other videos. Make sure to hit like, subscribe to Iconic and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Want to know what's next? Check out the videos popping up on your screen right now.